it's a nice thing. And I'll let you go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Okay. Before we open up the floor, I've got a couple of little questions myself that I'd like to ask. And what I'd really like to do is just start at one end and go down. And let's kind of put this in perspective in terms of consumer. My first question is, of the computer, let's call it the new generation computer, whatever you want to call it, tell me what the least cost unit is, and tell me what you get for that. How much RAM, how fast is it, et cetera, et cetera. What kind of processor and so forth. Paul?
Right now, what we're shipping out is the MM1 kit. So I'll answer the question in two ways. One is what we're shipping now, and what we're going to ship when we get Class 2.
No, I want to know what the least cost is, period. I mean, you got
Well, it's going to change because the kit's going to be discontinued when we get FCC approval. I'll make it quick, though. Okay?
Okay, you're running into my third question.
Oh, all right. Real quickly then, what we're shipping now is the MM1 extended kit. It comes with a megabyte of memory, 3 serial ports, 2 parallel ports, real-time clock, stereo sound ports in and out, powered mouse port, which is one of the serial ports, joystick ports, SCSI host adapter. You also get microwaves OS9 68K operating system version 2.4, C compiler basic. Of course, as part of the C compiler, you get the assembler as the back end for that. PC file manager and sequential block file manager that allow you to do things like read and write PC disks and do tape backup. Yeah, and there's some other system software things that come with it. Micro Emacs text editor, TRAW formatter, graphics editor for my column, although the commercial version is going to be available, and the commercial version will have a little more functionality. This is a lot of fun to play with now. You come by and play with it. And there's a whole host of other software, little utilities, some big utilities, including one called Oddjob, which is an awkish seashell type thing that's used by Capital Disk in Washington, D.C. for CDI development, and by Interlight in Florida for CDI development. CPU is 6870 running at 15 megahertz, and the graphics chip is the DSC, both of which are used on Philips CDI devices as well. And that system now costs $875. I think the best it will be going up to $949. And once we get the approval, the lowest system will be the personal. It has about half that functionality for $779. You get paid in power supply, and that's the lowest cost. And you get all the same software.
This is tough. That's going to take a minute. I had to make some notes. We have at least 5 different systems. So I'll start off with, sorry about this, the TC9, which is a Color Computer 3 compatible machine. And although that's available as a board set, to make it a little easier, we'll just use the system pricing, which is $549.95. It comes with 512K of RAM. It is comes with OS9 boot up OS9. Use all your existing disk controllers, Color Computer 3 drives. I'm probably going to be forgetting some things. It requires an AT style keyboard, which is one of the features actually, and that it uses an AT keyboard. Seems the other system uses that, so I'll talk about that for just a brief second. The AT keyboard is a bidirectional keyboard. You can send information to the keyboard, control the lights, change the key rate, and that sort of thing, get information back. We did that on both the TC9 and the 70 because, as one of our customers that came by the booth pointed out, you can't get all of the different keyboard configurations in the XT style. There was some fear on our part that at some point in the future, XT style keyboards would be difficult to come by, although I doubt that they'd ever be possible to come by, and then we would have a wider variety of AT keyboards. We also like the capability of being able to control the LEDs from the individual windows, so that you had caps lock on in one window and as you went from one to the other. It's a small point. The Tiger adds to the TC9. And I bought these things because everybody's confused and I'm also confused. This is the TC9 boards. This is the Tiger board, which is 68,000. One of the reasons I showed you is that it is a product that exists. It's been in production for quite some time. It adds a 68,000 coprocessor to a TC9, and it's callable from the Color Computer. It doesn't require OS9, doesn't require OSK. We use a mailbox metaphor where if you picture, let me use the Color Computer for example, because the TC9 we're talking about almost the same thing in this respect. If you wanted to use the 68,000 in the Color Computer, presuming that you could, the way you would do it with the TC9 is that you would put into memory someplace the program that you wanted the Tiger to run, and put in the mailbox the address of the program and the fact that you wanted it to do that. You wanted it to run that program, and then you would call the Tiger, which is the process of doing that as a toggle and address. That generates an interrupt to the 68,000. The 68,000 wakes up, looks in the mailbox, gets the information that it has been told to do, in this case executing some code at a particular address, executes the code, leaves information in the mailbox that it completed the operation and it's finished, and goes back to sleep. In the meantime, the Color Computer, the TC9, is looking at the mailbox to see what the status of the thing is going on. Now we're using this, the reason we came up with this product was for the past year, all of us here on the DS have been talking about OS9 68K and 68,000 systems, and we've all been kind of overlooking the fact that over half of you out there are not even into OS9 yet. You're still running Radio Shack though, and you have no place to go other than the Color Computer or an IBM PC or something like that. And what we wanted to provide was a way for you to get the power of the 68,000 without having to go into one of these machines, without having to spend $1,000 or more, and they're all in that price category. And utilize it for Radio Shack Basic, use it from OS9 Level 2, even use it and eventually run OSK on this hardware platform at a very low cost. Now the Tiger adds $130 to the cost of a TC9, and I think if we had a $130 68,000 board to plug into your Color Computer, we'd be swamped the entire show. It's technically possible to do that, but not as slick as we've done with the TC9. What we've done with the design of the TC9, we're going to one. Okay, I'm sorry. You want me to run down the other one then? Yeah. Okay, I get that. We'll let it go.
Doesn't make any difference. Yeah, gotta be the one. The least expensive system for you can buy with professional OSK is $999. That's what we call a serial or terminal system. You can use your CoCo as a terminal. It comes with 1 meg of memory that you can upgrade to 4 megs. Has 4 serial ports, 2 parallel ports. Has a high-density floppy controller which will support 2 high-density drives. It comes with 1 floppy controller. Runs at 16 megahertz, 0 wastage RAM, and to the best of my knowledge, we're about 2/3 faster than either of our 2 competitors. We will have, can I get into this? We will have, in the very near future, a variant of the System 4, which will not include OSK. It will include an operating system called RexDOS, and will include PT Basic. PT Basic will include as a subset Radio Shack Basic, so that you'll be able to run your Radio Shack programs on a PT under RexDOS. You can still add OSK if you want, partition your drives, and you can have both systems.
My second question, which you started to answer also, I want to know what the computer that you're going to sell me will run. I want to know if it will run OSK, will it run MS-DOS,